I'm now speaking with Narada, Walden. Tell me something. What is it like for you to meet relatives that you never had a chance to see before?
It's kind of overwhelming. That's what I said last night, you know. I asked my Uncle Trav, what do you do when you're so overwhelmed? He said, eat cauliflower. So it's very overwhelming. And it's nice. It's nice to be around people who, you know, are the same bloodline. It's a wonderful thing.
You know, tell me a little bit about Valentine Hackley. I met him a couple of times, and the people I've spoken with always talked about his work ethic. Tell me about that a little bit, about what kind of worker he was.
My Grandpa Val, I'm his first grandson. And so I saw him regularly. And it would be, every morning he'd be up around 4 in the morning, early. And he would go out and do his jobs. He was a great custodian. And his wife was Grandma Edith. And you could always smell coffee and bacon in the morning as she'd make his breakfast. It was always smelled so good, the coffee and the bacon, to get him ready to go out. And he was a worker. Worked very hard and was always very meticulous. Like he would baseboards clean just right. And anything that you would dust, you would clean up, he'd go back after you and make sure it was done correctly. So that, you know, it was always, you were checked. Very serious. And then his whole family was like that. His son Edgar was also a great worker, and with him. My mother's a great worker. The whole family, Mary, Travis, all of them. Even my dad got into it. They all became just like caught up in like just being great workers, man.
You know, where's the seed from that causes these people here in this family to, in a way, march to their own beat? You know, I see a lot more leaders here than followers.
I couldn't tell you where the seed is. All I know is, all I can tell you is that I have it in me, which is it's a drive. I beat the drums with reckless abandon, or I can be very controlled, but the passion to hit is really powerful within me. I don't know where it comes from. You say the seed. That's a very deep question. Where it comes from? I mean God. Where else can it come from?
Okay.
God, and I think the mixture of the blood. That we're black, we're Indian, we're Dutch, and my Grandma Edie is Amish. It's a bunch of stuff. So it makes people crazy, basically. So we're crazy people, wonderfully crazy people.
Okay, now tell me this here now. When did your music interest first start to manifest itself?
Well, I feel like I was born with a gift of music. I feel like I asked God for the gift of music before I even came to earth. I didn't want to come here without the gift of music. So that I can just tell you straight off the bat. Then early on, just started playing on tables, pots and pans, watching records, listening to music, just inundated with it. And that's why I love my family, because there was always music around. They always had the greatest music playing. You know, Vicky and Valerie, the twins, always had the hippest, latest tunes. You know, Johnny Mathis, all that music, and then jazz. They love jazz. And then Aunt Mary, she was the queen of rock and roll. She had all the hip, Fats Domino, Lee and Shirley, Let the Good Times Roll, Ray Charles, you know, all that music. So it was always music. My dad, he wanted to be a drummer. So I got that from him as well. My mom, you know, she's very artistic. So it's like an artistic family, very artistic.
But you know, even though you might have a gift for something, there's still a lot of hard work involved in that to take that gift to a higher level.
Yes.
Did you ever want or feel like giving up and going into a different direction?
No, never, not even once. No, because once my dad said, why don't you just go into the army or something? And I was like, are you crazy? I mean, I'd rather die being a musician than anything. That's all I ever wanted to do. Because I knew the real world, man. Getting a real gig, like a 9 to 5, whatever, that's a terrible thing. Unless you're really driven for it. Unless you're really passionate about it. Music I was always passionate about. So that's all I ever wanted to do. And I knew I could do it as long as I worked hard at it.
So what are you working on right now? What are you doing with yourself?
Right now I'm making an album for Christmas time that Japan is backing, and it's to benefit children at Christmas time all around the world. The AIDS babies in Africa and India and all the countries. And I'm getting my friend Sting to sing a duet with Yolanda Adams, 98 Degrees, Stevie Wonder, Take 6, a bunch of groups and friends of mine, Shanice Wilson, to be on this great album that we're putting together.
Okay, this here now. Okay, you're in San Francisco now, and you grew up in Kalamazoo.
Actually, Plainwell.
Where?
Plainwell.
Where is this?
Plainwell. About 10 miles north of Kalamazoo.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is, it had to be a vast culture shock leaving this environment and going to San Francisco.
No. See, it was a gradual thing with me. I left home when I was 16 years old, and I worked in a mental institution, and went to high school and played music. Then I went to Western Michigan for about three semesters, and I didn't like that because I realized I couldn't perfect drumming skills going to Western Michigan University. So I left there. And I went on the road with a band called Deacon Williams and the Soul Revival. And that band took me to Flint and around Michigan and then on its way out to California. When I got to California, I decided to stay out there. My brother Ron was with me. We both stayed out there together having fun with our cousins out there, Philip Hackley, Art Hackley, who nurtured us. Art Hackley in particular. Philip for a while too. Philip was great. We stayed at his home. We had nowhere else to go. Philip took care of us. Now Philip's dead and gone, so we say a prayer for him. Art Hackley, on the other hand, later on, I stayed with Art Hackley and developed my drumming skills and took care of his home, and also got working as an orderly in a hospital. But those guys really helped us, you see, really helped us. And then from California, I went to Miami, joined a band down there called the New McGuire Sisters. We went from Miami up to Connecticut, met John McLaughlin, told him I'd do anything that it took to be like him, because I admired his music so much. And I became a disciple of his teacher named Sri Moy. I began to learn to meditate and pray. And then about a year later, I was asked to actually join his band called the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And I just turned 21 years old. Then that band took me to England immediately to work with the Beatles producer, George Martin, in 1974. And that album was called Apocalypse. Then I toured America and Europe and Australia with that album. Then made a second album called Visions of the Amaran. Toured with Jeff Beck's band and Mahavishnu Orchestra, again, around America, Europe, Australia. And that really kept touring and traveling. And then I made the final and third album with Mahavishnu Orchestra, and then a Jeff Beck album, and then a Weather Report album, and then Santana, and then my own records. And then I had to have hits of my own. And I got married in '78, then I moved to San Francisco.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that. It was like a gradual thing. It wasn't like just going to San Francisco.
You know, you just said something very interesting just then. You know, as you had a chance to basically travel around the world, you've obviously had a chance to meet all types of people, different nationalities, what have you.
Yeah.
You know, here we find blacks and whites, blacks and blacks having one hell of a difficult time getting along together. You know, how are you able to get along with these people and work with these people and keep things flowing in a harmonious direction?
Well, love. You have to love people. I mean, first you gotta love yourself. Then if you care about people, then you try to find ways to get along. It's not so difficult, I don't think. It's only difficult when somebody wants to hang you from a tree or barbecue you or something. Mm-hmm. But if they don't want to do that kind of stuff, you can find a way to get around it, you know. And music, again, a big key. Music people like to hear and enjoy, and the walls come down with music. You know what I mean?
Okay. And last thing here, all right, there are a lot of people who do have gifts who are standing on a street corner right now doing nothing. You know, once you find your gift, you know, how do you deal with that? You know you have a gift, and how you take it to its highest? I mean,
discipline. People don't realize that, like you mentioned before, Valentine Hackley's work ethic. The work ethic to discipline your talent. That's what is missing. Standing on a street corner with talent is nothing. I mean, it's something, but you have to take your talent. Like Carl Lewis is a dear friend. He's a great long jumper and sprinter. He had to take his natural gift and hone it, and work at it, and shine the diamond, and develop the diamond. And this is something that our parents have to bring to us. If they don't bring that to the equation, the God gift of talent goes unmanifest. So my God gift of music, let's say, with Val's input, and his wife Edith's input, and my mother's input, and my father's input, and then his mother's input, all that family input makes a champion like me. And then my champion spirit will go on to people who I'm around. But it takes both. It's talent and discipline to hone your character. And just like, you know, you get your hair cut. You know, you wear nice glasses. You make an effort to look good. You make an effort to find out about your family. That discipline, you know what I mean? You have the urge within you to do these things, but then the urge to actually do it, make sure it gets done. You know exactly how things went. You know exactly how it went because you took time to study it and read it. See, that's your parents in you and your gift. It's both. It's discipline.
Thank you very much.